Well, ladies and gentlemen, the most tolerant people on the internet, the most tolerant people in the world, the ones that tell you you're the crazy ones, the ones that tell you you're the ones that are unhinged, you're the ones going too far. This is not very serious. This doesn't matter. Why do you care? Well, apparently, a very interesting person over on Twitter who I just reposted not even a little while ago, apparently just put out a threat against Mark Kern, aka Grummz, over there on Twitter and offered $20,000 for the bounty of Grummz. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Grummz is being targeted by these people in the most extreme of ways, all for fighting on the behalf of gamers.
It's a bounty hunter! You'll have to do better than that.
It's amazing what happens when this ideology gets threatened, right? Like, we see this happen all the time. We saw it happen during the summer of love. We're going to see it again during the summer of 2024, I promise you. But you're going to see it also in the entertainment aspect, too. You're going to see people losing their minds just by other people having a difference of opinion. And you see this a lot more now that Twitter is not as censored as it used to be compared to a few years ago, where it was basically a leftist safe space. This is clearly showing that people are not as tolerant as they say they are. We have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, "Evil individual places a $20,000 bounty on Grummz, aka Mark Kern, for beginning campaign to uncensor Stellar Blade." So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. And I'm sorry if my voice sounds terrible. I am still sick as hell, but hopefully we're on the up and up. It says former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern had a bounty placed on his head after he launched a campaign to uncensor Stellar Blade. Now, we've talked about this campaign many different times. You guys should definitely go check it out and see if you can support the petition. Mark Kern has done something like this prior about 2 or 3 times now, and he was successful every single time. Not saying he's going to be successful this time, but at least get your voices heard, because our voices were heard when it came to Tomb Raider being censored with the remasters. And now look what that Asper Media company is doing. They're putting the posters back into the game with their patch 3 for the game. So even though they messed up and they tried to pretend like it was a mistake, let's be real, we all know it wasn't, and the voice of the gamers were heard. And that's another victory in Gamergate. So we could definitely continue the momentum, or at least try to see if we could save Stellar Blade. It says Kern launched his campaign against the game's official account, promised that it would deliver the game uncensored. It wrote on X, Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries. This right here, by far, is the biggest problem. And I've said this many times. I said it in my last video too about Stellar Blade. This right here, this post is where the controversy is coming from. People are pissed because you made the promise that Stellar Blade was going to be uncensored. We didn't make that promise. You did that. You did that, not us. So that is where the problem lies. You openly lied to people. And when people called you out on it and you try to lie even further to try to save Sony's face, that just makes it even worse. It says a number of the game's outfits for the main protagonist, Eve, have been altered leading up to the official release of the game. Kern pointed out one writing, "This is another confirmed outfit censored. In Stellar Blade Original on left, we're working on changing it back. It's not about inches of fabric. It's about fighting the double standard and getting Stellar Blade customers what they advertise." Now, I want you guys to realize I'm trying to coin a term here on Twitter that is called the modernity cloth. Whenever they try to cover up Eastern females like this, right, they always try to put this middle piece here. This is called the modernity cloth, ladies and gentlemen. It's to hide the cleavage of characters that are deemed too sexy to people who are usually ugly as shit. It says not only were a number of Eve outfits altered, but the game's gore was also altered. We already know this. It went from super bloody on the character to almost no blood at all, even though she gets splattered all the same. It's just typical censorship stuff that they said they were never going to do. Following these changes, Kern launched an 8-step campaign to get the game restored to its original version. He shared on X the plan to get Stellar Blade censorship removed, condensed version of the pinned tweet. Contact Shift Up offices send physical mail as that carries more weight in Asia. He also encourages players to email Shift Up and for players to cancel their PlayStation Network subscriptions and let PlayStation know about it using free Stellar Blade. He also encourages gamers to sign a petition he created calling for the original game to be restored. As of writing, the petition has over 18,000 signatures and rising. We have more signatures on that petition than we do Zhao having players. Like, that's how bad it is for modern audiences. It says in the wake of announcing his 8-step plan and launching the petition, Kern had received a number of death threats. One individual, who has since deleted his account because he's a pussy, appeared to put a bounty on Kern's head, writing 20K to anyone that makes this dipshit disappear. Kern reacted to this post, writing, now they want to hire hitmen to take me out. What did I tell everyone? They want you dead. Over game tweets. I had 4 to 5 calls for violence today alone because I'm asking for Stellar Blade to be restored to what was advertised. Now, we showcased this on my Twitter page. This person named Tone Man. So I think the FBI should definitely investigate Tone Man, although I'm sure the FBI would probably agree with Tone Man. Let's be real. Still, Tone Man puts out a tweet, says 20K to anyone that makes this dipshit disappear. Obviously, it could be a troll, but at the end of the day, there is a lot of these out there, especially since the conversation with Stellar Blade and censorship as a whole and sexualization of characters and all this stuff. It's ramping up, man. It's ramping up because it's going to get ugly. It's going to get even uglier than it already has been for the last couple of weeks now. It's going to get very ugly. If you have people out here trying to do this and pretend like it's a joke, first off, it's not a joke. Number two, he deleted his account, so he obviously felt the heat from the comment. And number three, it would get very real for him very quick if he was discovered. He also added, this guy broke federal law and put a bounty on my head for tweeting about Stellar Blade. My take? Those are rookie numbers. My favorite anime character is far more impressive with the wanted poster, of course. The bounty is clearly evil, and the individual doing it, obviously has massive problems. And I agree. I agree. Listen, guys, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, Grummz is doing what he's going to do, right? Grummz is going to fight for the mainstream gaming because that's where he came from. He is very experienced in the mainstream gaming industry. All these people trying to be disingenuous about Grummz, try to talk about his age, try to talk about all this nonsense that doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck about that, man. The guy is extremely experienced when it comes to the gaming industry. He knows exactly what sells. I mean, this is a person who was a team lead during Prime Blizzard, okay? Prime Blizzard, what every gamer under the sun loved that company. Every gamer was super excited for anything Blizzard would come out with. They could do no wrong. He was part of that team, right? Like, he was part of the team that did no wrong. And I'm not saying he's perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's impossible for him to not make a mistake or do something wrong, whatever. But ultimately, the guy has good intentions. I think he's obviously trying to fight the fight. And nobody chooses to do something like this. Nobody chooses to go against the grain like this for no reason, right? Like, nobody does this for fun, right? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, some people like myself, this is a job at the end of the day, like, right? Like, we love YouTube. I love doing content. I love entertaining you guys. It is a job at the end of the day, and we got to take it serious. But ultimately, the word has to get out there, man. Fighting against the mainstream establishment is not a fun thing. Like, that's not something that people want to do for fun. That's why you have so many people trying to say, oh, I just want to focus on positivity. Yeah, because you're weak. That's the thing. You're weak. You don't actually want to focus on the issues that are happening right now. You want to sit on the sidelines, let other people do the fighting for you while you focus on your little bit of positivity at the end of the day and try to pretend like nothing's happening. You want to put your head in the sand and pretend like none of this is going on around you. And then 5-10 years from now, you're going to be like all those other fake ass gamers out there that are going to say, well, how did we get here? Why is this happening? I don't understand. Well, you probably would have understand if you didn't put your head in the sand and be complacent the entire time while it was happening. So again, guys, stuff like this, not too shocking. Obviously, I hope the guy is found and maybe Mark Kern can press charges against him. I highly doubt it at the end of the day. And it's just the internet. You know, internet's going to do what the internet always does. But the fact that people are putting bounties over on people who are talking about this stuff just goes to show that it's only going to get worse from here. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.